Hey guys, Michael with Amelia Marine, and in today's video, we're going to be taking apart this Ranger boat, so stay tuned. As you guys can see, we've got a lot of work done today on the 393V. I just want to do a quick walkthrough of everything that we've done today. So we took off all the trim pieces throughout the boat. We cleaned out the back bay, and there's nothing in here now except those fittings. We got the fuel pulled, almost pulled. Also, the fittings, like through-hole fittings, all taken off. We got this back compartment taken out so we can get to all the fuel. So we got the line here, and we are going to be pulling those tanks tomorrow. We got most of the wire pulled. I need to pull the console and some other little things. And then up here at the front, we got the trolling motor taken off, and like I said, all the trim pieces. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I am going to pull the wires from the bow up to the console, and then I'm going to take the console apart and take the seats out, and that should be pretty good.
So the last time that we pulled the fuel cells out of Clyde's boat, we didn't videotape it. To get the fuel cells out, you have to remove these two brackets here. One here, one here. You have to disconnect the hoses that go up there, over here. You see the two hoses? One of them is the vent hose and obviously the other is the filler hose. We're going to leave these two connected if we can. And on this one here, we're going to have to remove this lovely piece of wood right here. So we're going to pull this tank first and then slide this one over slightly so we can get it out. That was a lot of fun. So the two hoses that come down to the top of the tanks are high quality hoses. The downside of this whole thing is these are the original hoses, and they had also kind of over years stuck themselves to the tanks. So we had quite a job in getting them off.
And that's dangerous, real dangerous.
I would strongly suggest that you be very careful when you do this. You do it in a well ventilated area, because we actually did have a spark whilst we was trying to pry the hose off. Obviously sparks and gasoline fumes don't go together, so just keep that in mind if you're going to do this. The other thing we had to do is we had to remove the feeder tube, which we've not done on this one. We had to remove the feeder tube so that we could slide the tank out. What ends up happening is the front of the tank comes up and then you slide it out. The other thing is that we obviously pumped out as much as we could, so there was still a gallon in that tank, even though we had raised the boat, lowered the boat, trying to get it all siphoned out. We're going to proceed on, get this one out, and then we'll kind of show you. Michael can video what we have left and what's over there. So we're going to remove that thing now, and then we're going to remove this one. So we'll reset up the camera so you can watch. Okay, so from the video, hopefully you get to see some of what we did. The first tank, you have to remove the filler tube. You also have to make sure that even though we cut the hose, we left it a little long, you can't do that. You've actually got to remove the hose. We did in this application, you have to remove the hose. And quite honestly, guys, that was a real pain. And if you're not used to dealing with this kind of stuff, or never worked on a car or whatever, you might want to find somebody to do it for you. That's my advice. I think on a scale of 1 to 10, this is probably up there in degree of difficulty for two reasons. One is the size of the tanks. You're dealing with fuel. You need somebody that's, young and fit to help manhandle the tanks, because there's very little room. Michael and I was discussing, we kept asking, did they put the tanks in and then put the top on? Or did they put the tanks in afterwards? Our suspicion is the tanks went in afterwards. They did go on before the cap went on. Did have to slide this one that way, and as Michael was pointing out, these sides go up. That tank, we couldn't obviously slide it this way. We were able to get an inch or so, but we were finally able to get it out. This tank, Michael slid it to the middle and was able to get it out. So we're going to put it outside, we're going to air it out, get this kind of dried out a little bit, and then we're going to sweep it all up, get it cleaned out, put up our tools, and then kind of see what we've got.
Well, there you go. As you guys have just seen, we have put a lot of work into dismantling the 393V. It's been about 12 hours worth of work spread out over 2 days to get to this point, and we've really pulled out quite a bit of stuff. We've got the fuel tanks out, we got steering, electrical, plumbing, everything you could think of, lids, seats, trolling motor. It's all out and it's all sitting in big piles here around the shop. We got the batteries out, the charger, and here it all is. It's all just stacked into piles. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share. We would really appreciate it. And I want to hear down in the comments below what you think the biggest change has been on this boat so far. Was it removing the motor, removing the seats, the gas tank, all the lids? And be sure to check back next time where we get to removing carpet and cleaning the rest of this boat out. Until next time, guys.